Well, thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you, David. Thank you, Paul. And thanks to everyone who's here right now. It's a real pleasure for me to be here, and I feel a lot of warmth in my heart just looking down at my screen and seeing your names and faces. And I wish I were there with you in Denver. Obviously, we had planned this event to be in person and to be the beginning of a whole weekend together, which I was very much looking forward to. So sad that I can't be there, and glad that we have this time together. So yeah, and I also want to just acknowledge and thank the Rocky Mountain Compassionate Communication Center for inviting me, and the Spiritual Unity Center of Denver for also inviting me and partnering in co-sponsoring this evening. So I thought what we could do is start with a little bit of meditation together. Then I'll offer some reflections on this particular intersection between communication practice and contemplative training, some of the insights and perspectives that I've developed over the years, and then have some time towards the end for questions and discussion. Really want to hear from you what's alive for you, what you're struggling with, what you're learning as well, so that we can learn from each other. So if you want to turn off your devices so that you've got a little bit of space, now's a good time to do that. Obviously not this device that you're looking at, but your phone or anything else that might interrupt you. And when I teach meditation, I usually like to invite folks to pay attention to how we begin a meditation, because contemplative practice is a different kind of activity than most of the other activities we do with our life, which tend to be very goal-oriented. I start here, I'm trying to get there, and I apply energy and effort to do that. And in some respects, contemplative practice is looking at things in the inverse way. It's more about, how do I use my mind and body's energy not to go somewhere else, but to arrive in the present more fully. So in the service of that, I might ask you, as we begin, what would help you right now to feel more at ease and relaxed in your own body? Maybe that means taking a couple of deep breaths. Maybe it means stretching or moving, but just really checking in with yourself and seeing what's going to help me shift gears from whatever you spent your day doing, however your evening has been unfolding. You might, think about if you were about to put on your favorite kind of music, or about to slip into a bath. So just that sense of clearing away whatever's been filling your mind, whatever kind of inner mental and emotional activity might be present. Right? How do we mark a transition for ourselves? So whatever helps you to do that. And then in your own time, in your own way, turning your attention inwards. So for some of us, that's going to mean closing our eyes. For others, it might just mean lowering your gaze and letting the visual field be less dominant in your awareness, and instead beginning to open your senses in the body. Sense of hearing, the sense of touch. And again, coming back to this sense of arriving. What if there were nowhere to go, nothing you needed to accomplish or figure out. What if this next half an hour or so were a complete gift of open time? A gift you gave yourself. So you might notice the weight of your body, the places where your body touches the chair or the ground. And see if you can let the steadiness, the firmness of that contact, the feeling of gravity, the pressure downward of the body resting on the earth, just begin to rein in the mental and emotional energies. It's like having an anchor or planting a stake in the earth. A way of giving your mental and emotional energy a center, some place to gather around and rest, right here in the body with these very simple sensations of contact and steadiness with the ground. And so as you start to incline your attention in this way, of feeling the body arriving more and more in this moment, it's also helpful sometimes to just check how our heart is doing. Without needing to change it or feel any particular way. How's your heart right now? Do things feel heavy or light? Do they feel contracted or expansive? Warm and open, more cool? A little bit pulled inwards. Maybe blank. So just whatever you notice, what would it be like to relate to that with some sense of warmth? Some sense of friendship inside. In fact, you could even imagine you were sitting here right now with a very close friend. Perhaps one of the fellow community members on the call or someone else from your life. And if they were right here with you, how would they relate to how you're feeling? Sense of acceptance, kindness, perhaps a quality of patience and spaciousness. So just seeing if we can begin to give ourselves that permission to be right where we are. So there's the body, just resting on the earth. There's the heart, however it is for you now. And there's the invitation to this particular way of relating. Patient, balanced, interested, and caring. There can be a quality of spaciousness inside that has the capacity to hold anything and everything that comes. From anguish to joy, from fear to rage. And so it's natural for the mind to drift or wander. And for this reason, it's often helpful to use some aspect of our experience as a reference point, something to keep coming back to, as a way of helping to stay present, connected. So for some of us, that'll be the breath, just those simple sensations of breathing in and breathing out, however you experience them. For others, if the breath feels tight or uncomfortable, it might just be the body, just feeling the body sitting, resting on the chair or the ground. And for others still, it might just even be the sense of hearing, just noticing sounds come and go. So using whatever helps you to stay present. Resting your attention lightly with the body. Allowing thoughts, memories, sensations and feelings to just come and go. You don't need to get involved. You don't need to figure them out. You certainly don't need to make them go away. Just relaxing into a sense of natural presence. With a quality of gentle persistence, coming back again and again. This is our life, right here and now. If you notice tension or tightness in your face, your jaw, perhaps your neck or shoulders or anywhere else in your body, at first just noticing the contraction, the holding. See what happens when you shine the light of awareness on that contraction, that tension. Is there any letting go, any softening or releasing that happens naturally on its own just by becoming aware of the contraction? And if not, what's it like to just explore it? Explore the sensation. Bring some tenderness and patience to it. Maybe it's a place of contraction in the heart. And if so, bringing the same quality of kind and interested attention. More and more as we meditate, we may begin to learn that it's not so much what happens that matters in our own heart, in our own mind, internally, but how we're relating to it. And we can find a place of strength and stability, a balanced and loving awareness that has the capacity to meet whatever comes and stay steady. Just checking if your awareness still has that quality of interest, the kind of patient, kind, listening attention of a friend. With meditation, we're learning to be a good friend to ourselves, to show up for our own experience and not check out or abandon ourselves, abandoning ourselves in fantasy or abandoning ourselves through nostalgia, abandoning ourselves through distraction or addiction. And so if you like, bringing a little bit more of a careful attention right now to notice what's alive in your heart, what's alive in your own mind and body right now. Some thoughts, some feelings or emotions. Just listen, sense, rather than thinking about it. You don't even have to have words for it. Oh, it's like this right now. This is how it feels for me right now. And then using this framework of nonviolent communication, this perspective of deeper human needs. If you're familiar with that, just asking yourself, well, what matters to me in this moment? What needs are present or alive, either met or unmet? What matters to me right now? What's important? Maybe your need for quiet or connection is being met. Maybe your need for learning or engagement isn't being met. So just inquiring and noticing the truth of your experience right now. And so life is this process of feeling fulfilled and unfulfilled, feeling seen and unseen, different values and needs being met, satisfied or not satisfied. So whatever your experience is in this moment, seeing if there can be some sense of appreciation for the simple fact of being aware, of being able to know, recognize, and connect with what's true. Without that, we're lost. And so letting some of these reflections just fade and dissolve in your mind. And as we slowly move towards closing the meditation, if you like, just in your heart, in your awareness, beginning to open your attention to the presence of one another, without even needing to open your eyes, just knowing that we're here together. Some of you in the same city, some of us spread out in different states, perhaps even different countries. And seeing if we can become aware of the connection across time and space, just being present together. Is there any sense of support? Any sense of companionship in that for you? And then, if you like, wishing each other well. Any benefit, any insight or learning or healing that's come from this short period of practice, let's share it. Share it with each other first. May we each benefit. May we each share in the gifts of this time. Receiving even as you send from your heart, just receiving the blessing of one another. And then sending it out further to those in your lives who you know, who are in need, who are struggling, to those in our communities, in need of safety, resources, or support. And to those all around the world struggling for sovereignty, for equity, for freedom. To all those seeking to break the shackles of oppression and domination. And we all have the strength to recognize our own beauty, our own potential, and to live into that fullness that our lives may be a gift and a blessing to this earth.